Oh, guys. There's a good reason why the replay system is automated. You guys just saw replays from the 9th round. Welcome on back. It is our second best of 3 of the very first day of Mythic Masters RBG Esports facing off against Mibr here on Inferno. My name is Upmind, joined here by John JRT, and we're starting off a bit early now with a couple of players, at least from that CT side, looking for an early pick over towards Banana. There's one on that peak. It's Jitter on the front side, at least with one headshot back onto Jota, but Jota backs up. And the rest of Mibr playing out their default already. Bolts had to go for a fast rotation, but yeah, that's the thing. It's a fast rotation in a round where RBG mostly playing out a default early on, converging all the way back. However, over towards B, 2-man crossfire. Or at least contact early from Woody. It would have to be that second contact from Jota to have to go through. But Woody, again, no armor. And he's going up for this headshot peek. This is good, but he would need one pick and boot the heck out of there. But it's not going to happen. Smoke goes down. Wiz taking down Woody through the smoke. Chop taking down Jota. And yeah, Mibr almost completely at a loss in the middle of this take. RBG looking good, but again, 2 of their players is a little bit low. And considering the pistol, Mibr are still going to try, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to give it a shot. The old college try. Bolt's going to come through. Jitter waiting. He's missing the shots, and Bolt's managed to just take him down. That makes it a 3v4. Walco is very lit as well. Exit. Having a peek on board. Time's running out. Yeah, I think they're probably just going to save the armor at this point. There isn't really much to go for. Chop will get a couple. No armor saved, and Bolts continues to fire away. He doesn't have the kit anymore, and he's just trying to keep them on the bomb site, I guess, to maybe get some more money with the frags, but it doesn't happen anyway. Wiz will get him and goes down with the bomb anyway. 1-0 in favor of RBG.
Yeah, not a bad approach either. Mibr, they had 2 players deep on over towards Banana, and I think more importantly, still having a couple players incredibly early, middle of Banana, playing out wide towards Logs. It's just trying to take that early control because you have to know how volatile the pistol rounds really are. And that's really where the one-off strats can really start to come into play. The 4-man stacks, the rushes into Banana. It happens all of the sort. Mibr, however, don't have any of those types of scenarios to actually worry about. Neither does RBG. Most of the players from Mibr playing back over towards their choke points, except for one playing up in apartments, getting tapped away. That's Turtle going down to 20 HP. But otherwise, it is just pistols again down the board for Mibr.
Yeah, actually, we didn't mention this before, but Mibr has played Inferno the most of any other maps so far with this iteration of their roster, and they've got 6 games under their belt, 4 wins, 2 losses, 83 rounds for, 57 rounds against, for a plus 26 round differential. So it is one of their stronger maps, and RBG picking into it.
Yeah, not all too bad. I would at least like to see some stats with what the core is actually playing. Yeah, you know, not shabby, not bad. Yeah. Early on though, it is going to be RBG. 2 players bursting on. It's gonna get 2 kills onto Turtle and exits. And yeah, just what we anticipated off that last round save up coming up from Mibr, off of the Deegs, off of the armor, and it's gonna be the almost the same exact round coming up next. Deco off the 3rd round. And yeah, RBG, this is more or less just what we expected. Did want to see a bit more spiciness though from Mibr, but it's good to see them keeping their cash good.
Mibr, yeah, like you said, just want to save here as the bomb will explode, and RBG going to get a second for themselves, and they're quite strong in Inferno over the last month with 11-4 record and a plus 19 round differential. You kind of talked about their 8-game win streak that they had, which was snapped by Spring Roll, but it doesn't appear as though that matchup against Spring Roll is bothering them too much, at least in the early going, since they look pretty good on the pistol round, and the follow-up, well, they got it converted, which is always good news, especially after they had to face off against the party astronauts who were giving them so little space to breathe.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me about it again. It felt so weird seeing RBG on rifles and party astronauts on pistols. That's just how used to the situation I was. To just RBG losing every single round, PA just getting in there and caught me all theirs. And yeah. So RBG, now that they do have rifles in their hands, I'm a little bit put off, but definitely excited to see what they can actually try to pull off with them. Because most of the players from Mibr not currently approaching at the moment. RBG, most of their players, I'm not even going to say defaulting, contacting out towards that mid side, but realistically waiting out to take a bit more control, considering the fact, again, that Mibr aren't exactly approaching too many of these deep spots. This is a banana retake, though. And just like that, that would have been a shock to the system. Double flash, including the nades in from Mibr, but that banana setup not working.
Yeah, RBG's now going to push in towards bracket, and they will have a little bit of a mini stack to deal with. 2 players here together, Turtle and Exit. Could do some damage if Hex goes into this without checking the corner, and well, Wiz is going to cover for him. Turtle and Exit go down, 5v2 in favor of RBG, and this anti-eco going extremely well for them. In fact, Bolts and Woody, given the fact that they both bought up armor, are going to save it into the next one.
Yeah, stellar from RBG. No guns being dropped either this round or in the last. And again, that is almost exactly all that you would want out of a rifle round in an anti-eco specifically. So yeah, again, Mibr, yeah, they're just going to be holding on to this armor, but it's realistically not going to do too much for their economy. They could die here and still be fine with those M4s coming up into the next round, which is a little weird as to why then our RBG are actually approaching. See if they can affect the economy of the Brazilians just a little bit more. Bolts around the corner, gets the kill onto Hext. Just off of the Deeg spray, and that's realistically the only battle that RBG want to go for off of that. We do get that replay early on, though. What was that from Wiz?
Yeah, nicely done. I mean, through the smoke, he just times it right, you know? Nice shot. And then afterwards, peeking around that corner into truck side, gets the 2K quite easily. But here come the rifles for Mibr. The op for Woody and the 4 A1Ss coming out as well. And Woody's actually a pretty darn good opper. He performed very well for Mibr on Dust 2. Was the top frag against Kings of Content with 26 and an ADR of 93.5. So expect to see some interesting things from him.
Personally, one of the best free agent oppers in Brazil. And this was already back in like 2020 when I first got to actually watch him play. It's a year and a half after I made that sort of statement. And Woody, at least good to see him keeping up that same momentum and keeping up those same mechanics that make him a good free agent. In goes Exits over towards short. He is getting smoked out. A whole lot of utility down for RBG around the short area, but Hex is still going to be able to get one back through that smoke. Exit. He still has not been spotted yet, but I don't think anyone from RBG is going to peek him out. Woody has the full angle. Smoke should be dissipating in short soon. Woody leaves. Jitter going around the corner. Exit's not even going to be there. He's actually backed off towards site, and RBG only have 3.
Mibr doing a good job of holding off RBG. Woody with a nice op shot. Bolts behind the smoke. Timing could be in his favor shortly if he peeks out at the right time against Chop. The smoke comes through, and he does time it right. Chop goes down. That leaves only Jitter and Wiz. Jitter trying to come up from the apartments. He's looking for the right time to jump on out there. He's got the support of Wiz now. Maybe they can go for a quick 1-2 punch and get this bomb planted, but yeah, now it's over. Jota, on the flank, and it's actually Exit to get the last one.
You mind telling people why you tried to correct yourself there? Off Jota's name?
Well,
I told you the pronunciation before the game, sir.
I've got Upmind here, who is, the Brazilian dictionary, and he's able to tell me the pronunciation of every single player.
Of course. That's just what I do. That's what I'm here for, honestly, to guide you along these Brazilian matches, because certainly the spotlight of what is going to be this weekend. That's right, folks. Mibr winning this tournament. No. RBG going in towards that mid side is going to be very quick up against Exit. And Exit has to expend his whole clip, yes. But with those last few bullets, he takes down his second target in Walco, and everyone else from RBG cannot trade.
Jitter once more in the apartments, and yeah, since the rifles come out, it looks like Mibr found their rhythm very quickly. Woody gets another one. Turtle drops Chop, and Jitter, well, there's the response, but it won't really be that long for the round because he's going to go down to Woody. Woody gets himself another 2 op frags in this one. You see Exit finding Hex, trying to gain control up into Bracket, and then he gets Walco as well. So RBG, well, perhaps those struggles they had against the Party Astronauts are carrying over into this one. I know it's very early still up mine, but these last 2 rounds haven't exactly inspired confidence.
No, in terms of just timing off takes, not exactly what we've anticipated from RBG, or not exactly perform early on in the game, like to serve us. And I don't think this next round is going to serve as too much of a benchmark for us either. Again, pistols down the board for RBG. Again, it's just about creating long-term damage here, folks. It's just about that economic damage. Try to take away some of the guns here from RBG and force them to reinvest. However, don't really see that too much on most of the players from MIBR. Hopefully we don't get, or hopefully at least for MIBR, hopefully we don't get too many players getting antsy and going for the one-off takes. And indeed, Jota alongside Bolts go for those early peaks and a takedown 2, make it a 3rd back for Bolts. And RBG still stuck up with 2 players trying to go up towards that mid side. What are they trying to recollect here with that smoke? What exactly is Chop trying to pick up other than the bomb here? His pride, or? This is good. He can run for the hills. He could play a little bit more time. 50 seconds left in the round. He only has a dig to work with. He still has armor, so he could potentially save it. It could actually help him out up in the next round. But yes, jokes aside, folks, MIBR are going to be able to take that 3rd round. It is just the pistol, of course. And MIBR, more importantly, actually able to keep their economy pretty stable. No rebuys coming into this.
Yeah, all 5 players remain standing, and they got the double op setup coming through now with Jota carrying that on his back, and 2 AKs and the A1S to round out the buy. RBG, on the other hand, they saved the previous one. Now they're back to the 4 AKs and the op for Wiz. Wiz currently leading the charge with 5 frags. Not too many of those coming with the op just yet, of course, but we'll see if maybe he can wake up into this one and start making some noise. Walco, the one who was the top frag for them in the previous map, up against the Party Astronauts, hopes he can get back into action here, but it's Woody again, opening frag up against Jitter. 5v4 in the first 30 seconds, and here comes Chop. He could walk into the crosshairs of Turtle very shortly, but not just yet.
Ooh. Yes, Turtle gonna be able to get one off of this, right? But what else can he get? One more crossing out for the mid side, but that molly from Arches does it all. It covers up his opponent. Hex and Chop trying to at least take this back as Chop, but no way in hell is he going to be able to get that peek out. Exit already had the angle, and more unfortunately, though, Hex still at 91 HP, trying to go for this last one in a 1v4, but Jota, I don't know how much of a flash he was actually taking. He might have been full flash, but whatever it may be, crisp shots coming out from the MIBR side to give them a 4.
That shot from Woody to open things up was really nice. Not often you see the Operas go for that aggression right into Boiler, up into Window Room, but he does exactly that. Catches RBG off guard, who weren't expecting to be there at all, and helps his team get up to a 4th round victory. I believe that's 4 in a row now for MIBR, yeah. Since RBG had that 3-0 lead, Woody's going to go for that opening pick once more, and RBG have been relegated to pistols here. Let's see if they can make it work. Chop jumping into Window Room. He's got the Tech 9 by his side. Will end up going towards Boiler, at least that's his intention for the time being. He's trying to wait out all this utility, and you can't really blame him because quite a bit has sailed on forward.
And we're still very much waiting up for the fact that RBG, again, with no utility, facing on that mid side where MIBR is just going to keep delaying, until, of course, RBG ends up making their way out. This is, I don't exactly know what to actually anticipate for RBG for the rest of this one, because they're playing a default, but this is just a default off of the pistol, very much just a contact over towards that mid side. But with MIBR not giving a single point of that contact, we just have to wait for a push, and indeed we get it. The push ends up going right for a kill. Bolts now has to hold it down. 1v5 essentially for this man. He's waiting up for the cross, gonna be able to get one big in a second. Yes, can he get a third? There's still 3 more pixels in front of his screen to try to get, and they're not even in front of his screen. They're behind of a smoke, and he still ends up getting the kill. kill. Jitter and Wiz now the last turn remaining in a 2v4. Wiz gonna be able to make it one as the bomb goes down. No rifle picked up for Jitter, but Jitter around the corner with a Tech 9 is able to get a whole lot of damage. Exit now down to 27. Wiz now in the back of sight has 3 players to try to pay attention to. One out towards construction. Wiz is now down to 50 HP off of that wide swing. Jitter with a swing. Can't get anything done. And Wiz gets it done. RBG with nothing but paper clips and hand grenades makes it work.
Wow, Wiz. 3 impressive shots coming through from him. And all thanks to Hext, who took down Woody with a beautiful 1D to open up that fragging towards Banana. He picks up the op and makes it work. So great coordination there from RBG. Honestly, was starting to question them a little bit with how long they were taking to go for their pistol execute, right? Because they didn't have any utility to work off of, so they effectively had to dry peek in towards Banana. But they did manage to burn out a lot of the utility on MIBR's side, so I do understand why they decided to wait that long. But it does lead to the round victory, and here we go into round number 9.
Yeah, you gotta emphasize, though, how important that round finally was for RBG. They break the hex.
Yep.
And more importantly, of course, finally get their economy back on track. Only putting one down on MIBR. MIBR, though, still playing around. Oh, that flash is so good from Spawn, but Jota still ends up getting the kill through it, and Bolt's going in with a trade onto Walco. Exit. Doing the exact same thing over towards the mid side. Another kill for this team, and after the dust subsides, it's a 2-man disadvantage for RBG.
Yeah, RBG really needs to get a second round here, find some momentum that was lacking in the Party Astronauts match, because if we ignore the fact that, of course, that pistol round and the subsequent rounds converted off of it, they haven't managed to get 2 consecutive rifle rounds very often throughout this tournament so far. Anyway, let's see if Wiz can help them get to that point. He's going to get flashed, and okay, Chop drops Bolt. That's the space opened up, right? As Woody's trying to get the shot through the smoke to connect on it. He won't. Chop! What a peek!
Oh, the leg shot onto Chop instead. So here we go. Turtle and Exit. Very, very similar HP to their opponents. But the position's not so much. Chop, he was the one down to just about 20 HP. Turtle's able to take him down with a very quick trade. 100 HP versus 100 HP. Turtle versus Wiz. In we go. Wiz sitting back all the way in dark. Turtle doesn't have any utility whatsoever. Walking right into the cross! Turtle! He has an AK there and he wins it, but instead with the one headshot, the M4 fails him, and MIBR, well, they're going to lose that one in heartbreaking fashion.
Oh, great work, though, by RBG once more. And look who it is alive at the end. Wiz finding the final frag. And Chop, well, he did the work, of course, helping his team get into that site in the first place. Anyway, RBG retake the lead. They do indeed find a second consecutive round victory on their rifle buy. And now they got the rifles once more in hand. Over at MIBR, well, their economy was good enough to get 4 A1Ss and the MP9 through into this round. Maybe they can strike back against an RBG team that's proven to be quite resilient here. Jota is going to get the 2K! Oh my goodness! Headshot on Hex, and then through the smoke transfers to Walco. Now he's got the positioning and the advantage towards Banana.
Well, there you go. One general direction, and the A1S can do damage! Oh, what? And Bolt ended up getting the kill. I couldn't understand for a second how that kill went down, but Bolt ends up putting the finishing touch on that big frag. And Jota, alongside the rest of this team, literally could not do anything about these frags. I would like to say that all 5 of these frags from MIBR were almost completely uncontested. 3 of them coming out through a smoke, 1 of them in an off angle in mid. My, oh my, RBG running into a brick wall.
Yeah, that's really tough for RBG, but they're going to have to swallow that and move forward. Tied up 5-5. The problem is, yes, they did get 2 rounds in a row, but they got down to 1 or only 2 players in both of those round victories, meaning that their economy is tough right now. They can't really buy up anything. A Tech 9, a Deagle, a Molotov, and some body armor for Jitter. That is all.
Ooh, it's not too great of a situation, period, for the RBG team, but when you put it like that with the economy, certainly it can't get any worse. Woody towards that mid side. That smoke actually goes I can't tell if it was right on the mark or just a bit off. Actually, he was going back over towards CT, but we'll see. Woody's still holding up that same position. The pistols decide to come out over towards the mid side, but Bolts, even more stat padding coming out from him. 15 kills thus far for Bolts, and for Turtle, he's finally going to be able to get 3 more for his tally. And just like that, that's going to be Turtle with 9 kills. Mibr continuing to go forward, and oh, we did not see this. Chop just jumping out the balcony. Ends up getting one onto exit. The cheekiness, it always happens. It always happens in those types of rushes over towards A. There's at least one in apartments.
So Mibr win that pretty handily, and RBG back onto the rifles. Been pretty back and forth so far. As exit along with Woody. Go for a bit of aggression. In fact, Woody's pushing all the way down mid, and it works. He gets one, flicks around towards alt mid, gets a second before he goes down. The moment he got fragged by Wiz, he managed to get one last bullet off on Jitter. So 4v3, man advantage secured here for Mibr, and they still have control of Banana. Not much map control at all on the other end for RBG.
Not much of a leg to stand on for RBG again, though. They still have quite a bit of utility. They still have back, but the man disadvantage, it could only get worse, and indeed it gets worse. 2-man disadvantage. Bolts with another kill, taking down Wolko, and last now is Wiz in a 1v4 doing that exact same slow peeking for Bolts. It's all too easy. Talk about stat padding. 18 kills, John.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I was about to say the exact same thing. 18 and 3 for Bulls. Only died 3 times, the fewest of any other player in the server.
That's a 6-to-1 ratio. Holy my guy.
Well, he didn't get a chance to top frag against Kings of Content, so I guess he was a little itchy to get into the action and start fragging out.
It's his opportunity, as if I think this Mibr, the team name has had a lot of opportunities to do so, but I think Bolt's now in a pretty cool position. New players around him. I'm sure he could shine. Showing it now is certainly fun to see. RBG, not exactly a fun scenario for them, but they're still stomping their way over towards that mid line this time. Most players back over in apartments, so we would be looking for a bit of a short apartment split. I was actually getting a little bit worried because before we did get that rush back over towards short to try to pinch down on exit, but Woody, of course, does have Turtle to try to watch arches with him. He has that op shot back over towards apartments, but he's gonna miss out. There goes the drop, and exit does only what exit could do, which is of course frag. He ends up getting 2 easy ones. Now 3 players left for RBG.
No, I like that play a lot. When you fire the op shot, doesn't matter if you miss or not, because exit's gonna come out and take the damage and do it. Now he gets 2 more, and that will be the round. The 4K for exit, and there you have it. 1 on Walco, and then Jitter, who was distracted by the op, gets taken down by exit. 7 make that 8-5 in favor of Mibr now, who are cruising along.
Mibr, realistically, the only thing that you could ask for, especially out of some of the trickier situations that we've spotted. But again, I would like to say that at least the chunk of it has come off of the anti-ecos. Good early control from Mibr, and for RBG, you can really. All you can really do is just watch and wish them luck in the rounds that they do have the rifles in. Once again, early on, they're still trying to monitor off that mid area, but Mibr, they have proven again and again that they just hate even communicating with that one area. They don't peek.
Yeah, they really don't. They are taking their time. They're playing it passively. Now Jota does get caught pushing down Banana a little too far. As Hex finds the opener, that's great for RBG, who will look to build off of it. They're not yet committing to hitting Banana, though, despite the fact that they found that opener. Woody gets the shot on Walco, and maybe you're seeing why they're a little hesitant to end up here.
They're scared because Woody's on the other side of the server. Surely that's why they're scared, right? It's a 2-2 split throughout the map. 50 seconds left. There's 2 players actually sitting up in pits, waiting up for a crossfire over with Jitter. And I think that crossfire is just going to have to stay for another 40 seconds because RBG is heading that direction.
RBG going towards the A site, and Mibr have not really adjusted to account for that opening frag. Now they have a little bit Bolts leaning slightly towards B, but still still easily in position to go back to the A site. That said, Jitter gets a nice shot over on Turtle to give his team the man advantage. Lots of damage taken by both Hex and Chop on the way here, and Exit hasn't been found out yet. I'm not sure they know he's here. Yeah, Chop is clearing it, jumps right on top of his head and takes him down. Exit didn't even suspect it, and at this point, you're MIBR, you only have a flashbang. It's going to be hard to retake this site, and yeah, it's over now.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, RBG. We finally got one back, John.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good take. Good damage done by Jitter to get the entry onto the site. And of course, Hex with the 2K into the round. Woody is just going to have to wait and hope that he can get an exit frag here and do a little more damage. Now he spots out a player. In fact, I think maybe a little too risky, but he does have 8750 in his bank account, which will be 10K plus after this round ends anyway.
Looking back, finally, RBG. Something that we haven't seen all too much. It's just purely winning out the early interactions. MIBR seemed to at least be on the very front lines of almost every single spot that that RBG ended up popping out of. But this time it does actually help with a whole lot more chaotic utility in the middle of sight. We ended up breaking down that crossfire and we ended up seeing from balcony. Again, you can't exactly trust on that every round, but for RBG, it's all too good. Going back to this round, though, they have actually opted to play 3 early back over towards the B sites. See if that's just really at the expense of utility.
Jota keeping an eye on Banana right now, and RBG haven't really dedicated too much utility to it as of yet. MIBR still have a decent chunk in their pockets as well, and it looks like Wiz is going to be the first contact potentially here. No, it's Jitter who pops out, Turtle punishes, and Wiz waiting in Boiler for his opportunity, finds it. Woody is dropped.
Was Woody, or excuse me, not Woody. Does Wiz even need to peek the rest of everything? No, he doesn't. He's backing right off because RBG is heading over towards B, and Jota has 2 free ones. Oh no, Hexton Walco stopping in the middle of his crosshairs, and now he still has 2 more to try to go through. No flashes left for either one of these 2 RBG players either. 50 seconds left. They have to swing out raw against this player. Turtle coming up from behind. Chop actually ends up killing Jota. Bolts with a spray through the smoke. Not going to be able to find anything. Instead, coming up from behind, it is still Turtle off of that banana re-entry. And he's going to be able to get this kill, isn't he? Yes, he will. 30 seconds left. Molly towards the middle of sights. Wiz in a 1v3.
Yeah, Wiz. I mean, he was pretty solid with the op when the chips were stacked against them in that previous round, a few rounds ago when they were walking on the eco. But in that situation, they had the man advantage on the inside. This time, he's just going to go down as soon as he's hunting for some information. Exit gets him, and that's the half. 9-6 in favor of MIBR. You know, pretty close. I think it's still anyone's game at this point, but I'd have to say if I'm going to choose a team that has more momentum, slightly in favor of MIBR, because 3 of the 6 rounds that RBG were able to achieve came after the pistol round victory.
Yeah, it ended up coming after the pistol, which is still cool, right? Which is still cool. You could still consider that better for the rounds, right? But I feel as if, like, just purely off of the round wins, you did end up seeing RBG still coming back into their own favor, not having as much of the economic advantage as possible. You know, it's still very much very even game. And RBG, off of the CT side of Inferno, you could expect some more fireworks, I would like to think. And now here we go. Already a couple seconds into the round, you have 1 player back over towards apartments, jump peeking out, but not going to be able to find much. Everyone else from MIBR in middle. Chop got 2.
He's going to get a 3rd, maybe. Well, he does go down. Exit dropping him with the long-range Glock shot. And there's a bit of a problem here for RBG because MIBR is leaning towards this B site, and they've only got 1 player here. It's Walco. Certainly, he can tap some heads, and he does spot some information, throws a smoke down, but they throw a smoke of their own, and he is going to be blocked off. Now they're going to charge onto the site, at least get a bomb plant out of this, possibly more, as there goes that bomb being planted by Turtle. Bolts guarding, waiting for players to come in from construction.
Bolts, he popped off in the last pistol round. Can he do it again? Glock in hand. Waiting up for Walco alongside Jitter around the corner. Not going to be able to get anything. Instead, he needs both players next to him to try to go for the peak. Exit is now in the back line with only 3 players in front of him to try to shoot. Excuse me, 4. Yeah, that's that only, right? Only. quite the short task and quite the long grave, as it is going to be 9-7. Man, RBG desperately needed that pistol round win.
Yeah, RBG's look good on the pistols, to say the least. The first one, the opener here. Strong performance, and once more here to get a 7th for themselves. So let's see if they can convert off that once more, as did previously. The problem now for them is they conceded the bomb plant, so MIBR could conceivably force up here, but they're choosing not to. I think they're going for the conservative play. They are. Deagles across the board, no armor, no utility. Not to say they can't win this round, because Deagles can be very potent, especially in the hands of the Brazilian squads. But it's going to be RBG with the advantage here.
Ooh, Jota. I'll knock him down a peg off of that early peek, but again, it's not going to see too much danger, at least. Most of the MIBR players early on. Turtle did approach up apartments, and he actually wanted to make a bit more noise off a boiler than we could anticipate at first. But a 3-man hold back and short for RBG. That just means that this site is on lockdown when it comes to MIBR.
Well, Woody gets one, but then Turtle goes down in turn. The trade comes through. And MIBR continuing to hunt. Jota around this corner. Flashbang thrown by Hex. That is what saved Jitter in that situation. Then it gives Jitter a chance to respond and find Jota. Woody has pushed up to Arch, unbeknownst to RBG, but Wiz was waiting right there to make sure that he couldn't go any further, and then gets exit. So no fuss, no muss for RBG, with only bolts left standing.
That's all you want. That's all you want. Especially you, John. You like to use the word fuss, especially with your daughters. They, making a fuss, not exactly a great thing. I would like to think that RBG making a fuss, or excuse me, MIBR making a fuss, dropping more than one rifle, that would not be fun. That would not be optimal by any means. But yeah, no, jokes aside, it is going to be at least RBG taking one back. Only one of those guns being dropped. You could call them the guns. I think it was an SMG that was eventually dropped instead. MIBR coming back into this one. It is a bit faster over towards Banana.
Jota behind the smoke here, and like you mentioned, a little bit of a faster pace towards Banana here for MIBR, and Jota is the first casualty to chop. They do have the AKs up and running now. That nade connects for a little bit of damage on Walco, but RBG are going to fall off here and tuck themselves into the B-bomb site. So they're giving MIBR the space to work with. We'll see if this ends up being the right decision. They did get the opening frag, so I do think that it's not too bad of a call. Turtle gonna come around this corner, grab spot ahead towards Coffins. No, RBG playing it very passively. They want to get this utility out, but utility in turn coming through from MIBR. They're trying to sell this B hit. I'm not sure if they're going to commit to it. They really want rotations to come around for RBG.
That's what they're trying to do. They're not hearing anything, nor are they really getting too much out of RBG. So in we go. It's going to be the double molly back down on site, but they've already placed down the smoke. And like you said, there's still a player back over in mid. He could be covering up rotation still, but MIBR can easily still go back off of this. They have almost completely ran out of utility. This does help, though. Exit coming out over towards Arches is clearing up bit by bit. 25 seconds left. MIBR need to make a decision, and they need to make a decision now. They start to run over towards the other side of the map. There's going to be 2 players here. It's Wiz. Oh, no. It's Wiz alongside Hex. Hex now in a 1v2.
Oh.
He takes down the bomb. That's the round. The round is over. The round is over. Hex, Walco, and Chop are going to stay alive. Turtle on the other side of the map. He's stuck. And with only 1 HP, Chop. Oh, no, Chop. Can he actually find the kill? It's only 1 HP, mind you. But no, he's going to stay fine. But my, oh my, MIBR. That just stings.
Yeah, I think they just took a little too long deciding what they wanted to do. Obviously didn't get the audio cues from the rotations onto the B site. So I felt like for a moment they were going to commit to that B hit, but then decided at the very last second to back off of it and try for A. And you know what? Honestly, it wasn't a bad start when they went over there, but Hex, Oh boy, man, he was ready for what was coming his way. Got the 2K, and once that bomb dropped, it was done and dusted. So RBG, again, off of a pistol round victory, convert 3 consecutive rounds. And this time it was a little tougher, of course, because there was an AK buy-up in the mix there for Mibr, which is why you see them coming through here with a hero AK and 4 pistols to try and pull off a 10th for themselves. Oh, excuse me, it was a saved AK.
It was. Turtle with 350. He saved it after time. And he's not exactly going to be able to save it any further. Wiz. I wonder what the A1S going to be able to take him down. Jitter doing the exact same thing, except actually one-upping him. Getting 2 kills instead. Towards the mid-side bolts, looking to see if he can get some economic damage. But this is good once again. RBG maintaining their lead over the Brazilians. And the Brazilians need some resilience because... look at their cash. It's not exactly all too great either. They're about to get reset again if they lose out.
Oof. Alrighty, RBG, for the first time tonight, 4-round victories in a row. They're looking to make it 5 now, but Mibr do have enough in the tank to get AKs across the board and almost full utility for 4 of the 5 players. Only Turtle could only afford the AK. RBG, though, lose the first player. That is terrible news. Turtle finding the headshot. And that means that RBG are going to be playing short-handed for a little while. Wiz trying to connect on Jota. He does manage to take him down to 47 HP, but doesn't find the frag he was so eagerly looking for.
But again, the fishing for frags early on for Mibr... I wouldn't exactly call it fishing for frags either. That one just kind of served itself up for the situation, for the taking. But now this one, though. Mibr waiting up in the mid-side. Shop ended up going for a very, very brief but cheeky peek back over towards that mid-side. But it's with this rotation back over towards Banana that Mibr could set their sights on A.
Next. Could be the linchpin here. He's going to throw that smoke to block off the vision for Mibr, forcing them to walk through it and take the fight to him. Hext, waiting. Looking up towards his apartment. He's going to get the engagement soon, and Turtle over the tippy top of that smoke. Drops Hex, makes it a 5v3, and this A site has been completely cleared out. And in these types of situations, when you have all 3 players that remain on the B site... What happened there?
I said Davey POV.
Oh.
With the middle gun.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah.
Mibr are going to take this because RBG just can't go for the retake in the situation.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. Their utility is still more or less fine, but they expended a whole lot of it out of the early hold. So, yeah, good round. Finally going back for Mibr. You can't really take too much away from RBG, considering the fact that they did try to go for stack. Not a really rotation, though, is what Mibr have been fishing for. It's what they have been trying to calculate for the last few rounds already off that T side. But it's not exactly the form that they wanted it, that they anticipated. But at least this time, though, you can actually trust in RBG not doing this early peak again.
Yeah, almost certainly not. Oh, man, that shot was really nice from Turtle. Kind of a mini one-way created for himself with that smoke, right? And
it's
that's
good
what
50.
leads to the frag.
Yeah, because if it dissipates, that's a 50-50. If he pops out, there's no way that he's going to spawn him that early. Just good mind games or good cheesiness, I guess, from the boys of Mibr. But we have to move on into the next round, though, because RBG, early peak mid.
Volts has also slowed up considerably. Since he hit his 18th frag, he hasn't found a single one. 0-5 since that point. Well, we'll see if he can get something going here. Is he in position to engage over on Banana? I think he is. Yeah, he's over at Log, so he could be the one to find this opener on Walco and get the space that that Mibr is looking for. Nade connects on Walco for a bit of damage. I don't know if it's going to force him off. He does toss one in turn, but it only does a sliver of damage to Jota.
Oh no, the timing for Wiz cannot be worse. Oh, he goes in. If that flash pops on potentially just a bit earlier, Wiz could have still held on to the angle, but he was trying to switch up his position, get an off angle in. But Mibr now, they see this as a bit of a gift. Main advantage back. They could start to play at least one of their players up on a bit more of a contact, and indeed they have. Exit currently up towards Boiler. Back over towards Arches, and speaking of Arches, Arches was about to be fully abandoned. That was until Hex made his decision last second. Jitter, if he makes a peek now, he gets a free kill. Indeed, he's going to be able to get one, but the trade from Exit is fast.
Yeah, very quick indeed, and that's what MIBR needed to ensure that RBG wouldn't gain a little more momentum off of that frag. Hex is waiting here on the A site. I think if Exit and Turtle come around this double peek, they should be able to take him down. They don't. Hex gets one, but Exit does go for the trade in time to make sure that his team will maintain their edge, and Jota finds one more, leaving only Walco to defend for himself. He does get one already in this 1v3 to make it a 1v2, charging up truck side, 57 HP. Both players can be isolated for 1v1s if Walco plays his cards right. The problem is he doesn't have the utility, and now his position has been given away. He's taken the risk to try and pre-fire around those corners. Gets one on Bolts. Wow, just to get that frag is impressive.
So good.
But Exit gets the trade immediately, and that is the round.
Yeah, such a good setup. You effectively force the player out to swing over the board short, and Exit playing up on top of the box. He is covered up for that position. So well played. Well played indeed. MIBR, you could start to talk about a bit more of the macro of the round, because in all honesty, at least for RBG, not much they can do once again. That's like the second straight round where we've seen that A-hole just break down because they do an early rotation.
He spots out the side of the body there on Wiz, and actually Wiz is forced to fall off. That gives Woody so much space, though. Now they have no information. He's all the way up Arch into CT. This could be catastrophic for RBG if they don't clear this. Walco does get one on Jota. That's a really nice shot with the op, but they still don't know that Woody is in CT. So MIBR almost certainly going to work this B site.
And look at this smoke. This smoke is going to land in front. Is this a tell?
Walco's dead.
Walco has to be dead, right? He is going to be able to get one, but no opportunity for a trade after, and that smoke actually does cover up quite a bit. Chop just delaying time, making sure his teammates have time to rotate in. Oh, but boy, oh boy. The smoke isn't exactly a wall for you to stand behind. The smoke, it's quite transparent, actually. It's going to be a 12th round going back for MIBR, RBG. And they can at least save the op. It's certainly going to help them out, at least off of the CT side, but finally a reawakening for MIBR.
RBG got caught. They got caught out of position. They were cheating towards truck side with 3 players there, leaving Moto and Arch wide open, and that gives Woody a chance to charge on through. They were really forced back by the Molotov and the utility that was being thrown from mid, and then once Woody sneaks into CT, it's pretty much over, like round done, because they had no idea, and the op was posted up there looking towards Banana.
Look at how many times can MIBR realistically take a round in as a cheesy or an underhanded type fashion. That kill though from Exit, that's gotta sting a bit for Chop. Chop. Such a good setup. Realistically, the rest of RBG also had a really good setup, but MIBR.
Yeah. It was just Woody slipping through. That was a difference maker, honestly.
All it was. Still, honestly, good takes, but in we go. RBG. At least in terms of where they actually posted up Wiz. Wiz could actually get an early pick here and alongside the rest of his RBG players, because look at the actual setup. 3 players in apartment. Oh, they go out.
Oh,
they went out. They won. Jitter ends up getting one after Hexed.
Okay. All right. And 2 upgrades.
Are you awake now, John? Are we good? We're good.
I'm awake. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Bolts through the smoke, connects on Walco. This is a pretty wild round, to be honest. 3v3 here. Chop waiting at new box. He's got support coming.
Chop.
Doesn't want to show his hand too soon. He is peeking around this corner. Oh, they don't even see him, but now they know because he fired off one shot. They're staring right at new box. Jitter's got the flashbang. He's coming around. Chop goes down to Jota, and now Jitter, given the fact that he got flashbang and the nade comes through and does the damage. Jota is down, and look at how low Woody went as well. He's also losing some health, but it doesn't matter. Woody's right there with the op. Wiz comes back though and gets bolts to make it a 1v1. HP slightly in favor of Wiz. And he's going to come out here. Op v off. Wiz going to get the shot. He clutches it out again on the B site for RBG. This time, though, on the CT side. And he will get himself and his team an 11th round.
Dude, I could literally hear. I think it was Ches. I could hear saying, "How do I observe this?" Oh, because how do you observe this? Look at that. The rush coming in from apartments through the smoke. I mean, shoutouts. He was able to catch that frag, but dude, RBG, a shock to the system to say the least. And I mean, that's the Hail Mary. That's all you really have to say.
Yeah.
RBG, they nail the Hail Mary. What are they going to be able to do after this?
Oh, well, I mean, they need a follow-up because MIBR still have quite a bit of cash built up in their pockets. Let's see if they can do a good flashbang throw so Hex can peek out. No one really there for MIBR. They're leaning more in towards Banana, so they want to spot it on the peak. And now Woody's going to time it right so he can push himself up and get in position with the AWP towards top mid. And there he goes, staring at Arch side. RBG this time have someone watching because they don't want that to happen again. The same thing that happened when Woody slipped on through to CT.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. They are.
No, they've learned their lesson.
Yeah, Chop is gonna be on that position like a hawk. But again, that does take away a bit of pressure away from that B hold. Let's put a bit more on that A hold. 3 players now here. It's 2 of them surrounding site. Very much an unanticipated value. That's gonna be Hex sitting up in mini pit. MIBR. They're going to take on the contacted Jitter, but will they have any clue that this player is here? In goes the actual take. Utility coming up from both MIBR and RBG, but everyone's at a standstill. One person in the middle of sight. Choppy can't actually spot anyone. Turtle's in the middle of that smoke. Turtle's in the middle of sight. He stands up on top of the box. Chop has nowhere to go. Chop peeking around the corner. Finally peeking up on sight, but Turtle's going to be able to take him down. Reminder, 2 players from the CT. Oh, from the CT. Team still in the middle of pits. In Hex now waiting up still for the rest of the players. They had no clue that Hex was here. They had no clue that either Jitter or Chop were here, in all honesty, but still very much waiting for Hexed. Oh no, they could at least get one John. Oh, Hexed alongside Walco. They make it a 2v2.
I honestly thought it was a mini pit, but now, well, I don't think it's going to matter. Jota gets himself another one, and Woody will cap it off with the op frag on Wiz. So despite the fact that it was interesting for a moment, I thought Hex had that second one. In fact, it was Walco who got that frag. But yeah, MIBR still hang tough, and they get their 13th on the board. Speaking of hanging tough, every single player on this MIBR roster has been fragging out. And the only one below a KDR of 1.0 is Jota at 12 and 13, but he's contributed with some very critical frags.
Yeah, he has. Jota has been a part of a lot of very important plays. Bolts, I mean, in the second half, he's been non-existent. That's just straight up. Yeah, after Bolts hit 18 in the first half, only one single frag has come out of his gun thus far in this half. But again, if MIBR keeps doing well, there's not much that you can really complain about.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, RBG, they do have one player though. Watch out, Hex gonna be able to get one. Can he make it a second? Picks up the AK, exit around the corner, walking right into his crosshair, but can't get more done. One player for RBG and B.
There's a nade that comes through, and then Bolts finds Walco. Hey, look, you called him out. He's like, okay, I am still here. I can still frag on T side. Gets himself a 2K, and the B side has been just blown wide open. RBG's not going to do anything about this. Yeah, you got to apologize to him now.
Oh, man. Apologies, Bolts. Apologies. Well, RBG. Certainly not too dejected, or certainly not too apologetic either. Especially off of that 5-7 play back over towards Porch, but exit. He's gonna do something fairly similar and take down Wiz from behind. Jitter, the last one remaining in a 1v4, still has an AK to try to save, but yeah, almost literally that is the only rifle or only piece of firepower that I could have seen RBG trying to pick up after everything else that they fought pretty much off to the wayside. MIBR pretty much one round away from closing this one out. After this, it's an RBG reset plus a scrappy buy. MIBR, one last push.
Alrighty. Well, this is a great entry towards B. That nade gets chopped, and he finds the last one, or the second one for himself on Walco. So, once we get into it, MIBR will be looking for their 15th round. Like you said, if RBG loses this one, their economy will be in tatters. It'll be very tough to get a proper buy-up. 3 A1Ss, an op, and the AK saved over from the previous round. Flashbang gonna get thrown here by Woody, and Bolts thought he ate that, but actually didn't do as much damage as you would expect. Now he gets a little more utility under him, so he goes down to 65. But MIBR, they just want to make some noise towards that B site. So again, though, RBG, if they get smoked off truck side, there could be a lot of presence. Well, Jitter's going to get 1 hex the second. Bolt strikes back for 2, though. He's woken up at the perfect time. He will not get a third. It's actually Exit to get that 3rd frag. And let's see if RBG is going to even attempt this retake.
Yeah, you can see Walco getting up close. He's tempted. Bomb still hasn't even gone down yet. So at this point, Walco just checking up these back few lines. Considering the fact that we're seeing quite a few utility over towards these back lines, it might actually be trusty that MIBR is potentially running out of utility. See how much time MIBR can still chunk off the clock. Because again, no bomb being planted yet. Finally, another smoke going down in Moto, but a kill going back from Walco. Again, more time being wasted. 30 seconds left. Bomb still down.
Jeez.
2 pieces of utility still left, but Wiz coming up. He's already in short. 25 seconds left. 1 player in gray, but Wiz has no clue he's there. The peak could come out at any point. Oh, did he spot him? Did he spot his back? He might have.
Oh.
He might have, but he goes out for the peak, and Bolts takes him down before he has the opportunity to go out. Oh, lots of individual little tragic scenarios there, but somehow MIBR able to pull that back after the chaos in short.
Yeah, I mean, good job from Bolts. A 3K on the round. The thing is, if you're RBG, maybe you want to save that AWP into this round. Okay, well, they still had enough to get the op in Wiz's hands, but if you save the op over, then you can drop it for Wiz, and Wiz could buy an M4, for example, and then Walco wouldn't have to walk forward with a pistol only. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe Wiz will be able to do it here. It is a glass cannon on top of everything else.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Glass cannon. Back for Wiz. So here we go. MIBR could close out their first map. Excuse me, their second map here in Mythic. They got 1 just in that last round, but RPG. So trying to cling on to hope. No, the smoke lands right in front of Chop. Chop with the counter, but Jota already back over towards Grill. There's no way anyone can pop out of that smoke without getting traded. RBG, are they looking down the barrel of a 5v5 retake to wrap up this game? I think so.
Possibly. The bomb still has to get carried onto the back, on the back of Turtle towards this B site, and they're going to re-smoke CT just to be on the safe side, and here we go, Turtle. Gonna get that planted. 3 players for RBG in the meantime managed to group up in construction. And now you have Jitter rotated around as well. It will be some presence towards Banana, assuming, of course, that Hex can even get past the rifle of Exit, who's ready and waiting for the engagements to come through. Utility flying forward here for MIBR. They got 2 flashes and a Molotov left, already using one of those flashes towards CT. Turtle gets the 2K on Jitter and Chop. Then Bolt and Exit combine for 2 more. It's all happening right here as Wiz, the last one standing. No longer another 16-11 scoreline that RBG are on the losing end of. And this time, it's against an MIBR squad that was resilient and just was unable to be shut down.
Oh, MIBR. You said it right. The resilience kicked in at the very end with them winning out 7 out of the last 8 rounds. Almost literally what MIBR